93 Network.
Bring back that beat, DJ. I don't know what I was just thinking about. You notice how we done had this beat for a while, right? Mm-hmm. But it seemed to be hitting me different lately, man. Like I didn't react that way when we first got it. Shit.
Yeah.
Maybe I've grown.
That beginning too.
Yeah. We need to start. You know what? When we do our little TikTok, little clips and stuff like that, we need to add like 10 seconds of that to it. Matter of fact, you know what? Maybe do something to where we're not even talking. Just have us like this and just have a beat playing.
Yeah.
But I think that'll draw attention if people are scrolling and stuff like that.
Oh, absolutely.
You can't pay attention.
Yeah, the beat is heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
you can't twerk to it, but it's still.
Don't find anything.
I can't tell jokes like that. That's one. I'm gonna be in trouble for 5.
Leave me not into this.
Yeah, I can't tell jokes like that no more. I try to tell wifey, I'm a professional. Hell, I get paid to tell these jokes. They gotta be funny.
These ain't jokes.
Gotta take with it.
Yeah. All right, Earthquake.
Yeah.
All right, welcome to the Fourcast. We review movies, films, documentaries, completely different way, 4 different perspectives. Got the 4 of us together tonight. Shout out to Chef Jeff for guest appearing last week.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We appreciate that. We appreciate that. Yeah. Great show. Before we go too far, voting started today for the 5th annual BSC Network Awards. So I put that link in all of the chats. So wherever you're watching, if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, formerly known as Twitter X, or on Roku TV. So go ahead and click that form and submit your vote. Your favorite show is in one of the categories. So go ahead and vote for them. And tonight coming up, we got Simone Biles Rising. It's on Netflix. And it was perfect timing, obviously, with the Olympics going on. But it kind of dives into her previous Olympic run and her reason for stepping out and some of those things. So we'll get into that tonight. It's a 2-part. It's 2 hours total. So it's a pretty easy watch. So I would highly recommend it. But let's kind of go around the room. Dawk, how you doing? Welcome back.
Oh, glad to be back. Glad to be back, Mortimer. While I was gone in Jamaica on our last night, I think it was, Trading Places came up and wifey had never seen it. I'm like, what? So imagine a kid introducing another kid to a new toy. Wow. I'm like, you gotta see this, you know.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm like, yeah. So I told her, so I immediately turned it off and said, this is gonna be a Netflix and chill night movie for us, you know, since you ain't seen it. Because it's one of those movies that I'll watch every single time it pops up. I'm gonna watch it because it's Eddie Murphy at his absolute best. You know,
right.
I'm a karate man. I bleed on the inside, but you wouldn't know that because you're a big Barry White looking motherfucker.
that's right up there with Coming to America. If either one of them is on, so what she think about it?
Oh, she, cause that's what made her ask. Now, what's this again? You know, who been putting out their clothes on my floor? Who been putting out their clothes on my floor? Get the fuck out.
It was Duke.
Yeah, she even asked me later what ended up happening. I'm like, nope, you gotta watch it. We gotta watch it.
Gotta watch it.
And I told her the fun little fun fact about Jamie Lee Curtis that you didn't know. About having the female and male DNA. HRap, you done heard of that one with Jamie Lee Curtis before? Yeah, she got female and male. Again, forgive me, I'm butchering it.
I've only seen the female.
But
I think I briefly.
yeah.
I think I briefly heard that before.
Yeah.
I had not heard of that before.
Yeah. Look it up.
Brief.
Yeah. I had to look up some ancient stuff because she old now. Anyway.
Yeah, she's old.
Oh yeah, man. She up there. Man.
But she was in rare form on that. Okay, it's a rare genetic condition called androgen insensitivity syndrome, in which, hang on, dang it, I just lost it, but that is the name of it. So a lot of people think, was she born male, but it's not that. It's called androgen insensitivity syndrome, and I'll have to figure out a little bit more about that. Stay tuned. Go ahead with your introductions. I'll come back. I'll report back. I'm on the case. Sean Rabb, Fox 4.
Fox 4.
News.
Get that follows in there, bro.
Right, exactly. Hey, you've been doing Crime Stoppers a lot, man.
Yeah, it's not. It gets confused with hermaphrodite, but it's not that.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That's where I went.
We're to the hermaphrodite store.
I mean, mentally, that's why I was like, wow.
I know.
LC, got the fun bags and the package.
Fun bag.
Yeah. Got the meat and the bread, huh?
Okay, go ahead, Ben. Take back over, man.
I felt
You are apparently losing control, sir.
What?
Wilks, how you doing, man?
Well, after that, I'm doing great. Yeah, doing pretty good. I had to zing one in there, but yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, gotta get one in early.
Of course.
I hear you. All right, HRap, how you doing, man?
I'm better now that I know Jamie Lee Curtis is. Scared.
I thought you would maybe feel worse after watching it. All right,
girl, so.
Yeah. Shout out to April Showers Network. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe to her channel. Dropping some great content. All right, so before we get into initial thoughts, you want to give a breakdown?
Our plot, yeah.
Yep.
So because this is a documentary, it's not really a plot, but here's where they're going with it. So Simone Biles, the gymnastic superstar, withdrew from the 2020 Tokyo Olympics due to mental health concerns. After a hiatus, she embarked on a journey to rebuild her skills and mental fortitude, preparing for her triumphant return. Now, just like in a lot of these multi-part documentaries or docuseries, whatever you like to call them, they do break down each episode in terms of title. So episode 1 and episode 2, which is what we're reviewing tonight. Episode 1 is Write Me Down in History. So while preparing for a comeback, Simone reflects on intense pressures, internal battles, and a pivotal vault in Tokyo that turned everything upside down. And then on episode 2, I Will Not Be Broken. At the World Championship, all eyes are on Simone, but as she looks toward Paris, experiences from the past are shaping how she thinks about the future.
Yeah.
And there you have it.
There we go. All right. So initial thoughts on this series here, and we'll go to HRap first.
My initial thoughts is Simone Biles may be the greatest at whatever she does in the history of the world. Like, they say Michael Jordan is the GOAT, Muhammad Ali is the GOAT. I think Simone Biles is better than anybody I've ever seen do what they do at what she does.
Yeah.
I mean,
I give you that. And under immense pressure. Like, it's different when you're hitting a baseball. It's different when you're catching a football. But when you're 4'9" and you're jumping 12 feet in the air, anything could happen when you land. I mean, we've seen these videos of people breaking knees and ankles and all of that. So to me, the amount of pressure she's under, she's like the Tiger Woods of golf.
I think she's better than Tiger Woods. I don't, because the reason I say that is you can make the argument for boxing with Floyd Mayweather. You can make the argument with Muhammad Ali, Ray Robinson. You can make the argument with Kobe and LeBron. You can, there's arguments to be made. What's the argument for second place with Simone?
Yeah, you just hit it. That is the argument. Who's second? It's not who's the GOAT,
Yeah. Good point.
That's not like, Denzel or Gene Hackman or this, but it's like Simone Biles and the record. Like, it's this one lyric from KRS-One. He said, "I'm not the number one MC. Oh, I'm sorry, I lied. I'm number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5." And that's how I feel about her.
Yeah, it's a closer comparison, maybe, and this is still not one, but Serena Williams, because you can still debate with her as to some others like Chris Everett Lloyd, and a couple other ones, Sharapova, a couple of folks like that. But with Simone, hell, even Mary Lou Retton ain't trying to play like it's her. Right. You know what I'm saying? Carrie Scruggs ain't trying to play like it's her. Yeah, even all the announcers are like, "This is the greatest gymnast of all time," and it's not even debatable. So Dominique Dawes, no, we appreciate you for representing the sisters for
holding it down.
Yeah, Gabby, we appreciate you for
EOP holding it down.
Yeah, but
move
over, Bacon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other initial thoughts, Doc? That's your
No, that was it. I was interested in hoping, which they delved into a relationship with your Green Bay Packer. Because I found that fascinating. And
Bear.
Yeah, he's a Green Bay. Oh, did they? He's in Chicago now. Okay, cool. Yeah, but I'm rooting for them. I think they're a cool little couple, man. And just as I jump forward for a little bit, the fact that he started going into therapy just simply because of what happened to her and how it reacted and things of that nature, and he realized, you know what, I probably need to be going to therapy too. Right. Shit, I got some pressure, whatever. So I think they got
for myself.
Yeah, I think they got a neat little story. I like their camaraderie and kind of interaction between each other and stuff like that. That's a couple I'm rooting for. They got some wholesome power couple potential. Yeah. Right. And I'm saying that in a way, an untainted, not tainted by entertainment, like your Beyonce and Jay-Z's and et cetera, et cetera. You follow what I'm saying? It's they got the opportunity to, to hit it out of the park with their power coupleness,
Right. Wilks.
I enjoyed this. I do remember her dropping out and kind of like, you didn't really know then.
We didn't know what was up. Yeah.
Yeah, right. You didn't know what was going on. It was kind of like, oh man, I hope to see her again. She got so much potential. She's cooking, and then she just kind of comes back and she's doing those other competitions that are international. She's winning those, and how her teammates were looking up to her almost pretty much for like guidance or counsel. Oh, she's gonna be okay. But they understood also too that what they were calling the twisties, which I had never heard that.
Yeah, neither.
But I mean, just the force of like how she's landing and how I'm thinking, man. I mean, she's sticking some of them. I mean, perfectly. And some of them, yes, she made mistakes, but I mean, that's far and few in between. She's, the great one. But I think also what captured me and like how the grandmother became the mom, like this, like literally not even just the title, but you could tell she took over like that biological mother seat. Like I kind of sensed that, like she was, because if they hadn't have said that she was the grandmother that became the mom, like I wouldn't even,
right?
I couldn't even feel the difference. I wouldn't even know.
Right.
I don't think we knew her. I didn't know her backstory as far as her parents.
Right.
Because you normally, and during the Olympics, you'll see and they pan the camera over and you're like, yeah, here goes her mom and dad. I don't remember those moments, but I think that's just a beautiful story. So that was her dad, or that was her dad or grandfather?
Grandfather.
It was foster at that too, wasn't it, or something? Okay.
That's her biological mother's dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
She was in foster care briefly, but her grandparents.
Four of the kids were. So her grandparents took her and her sister, and then his brother and his wife took the other two.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
In another state, like
Ohio.
Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's up, Keisha? Thank you for tuning in. Keisha's nominated again for the Supporter of the Year. So If you would like to vote for her, she's popping into every show, dropping something nasty, dropping something funny, dropping some of everything. But you definitely be in the chat, so we appreciate your support throughout this past year. All right, so episode 1, Write Me Down in History. While prepping for a comeback, Simone reflects on the intense pressure, internal battles, pivotal vault in Tokyo. Now, Tokyo was different than all the other Olympics, and we all know why, because of COVID. So that she didn't have her family there. It was different for a lot of athletes, and we know how COVID affected a lot of the different sports. Some people put asterisks on it. Some people say, "Oh, it's not real because you don't have fans," which I don't agree that. A championship is a championship. If you do it with somebody there or not. But it really kind of dived into that part of it, and I think
Dove. Go ahead.
And I think that affected her. You know, her mom was there. Her mom was there to braid her hair. And
I knew HRap was the smartest dude on this show. I just knew it. You just proved it.
Boy, y'all in trouble.
You just proved it.
Y'all in trouble. I'm smart guy. Y'all popped.
What's up, CJ? But let's rewind back. Let's talk about that 2020 Olympics. Dawk. That 2020 Olympics and what that was like and how it affected her.
Yeah, because again, she came into those Olympics as the favorite, you know, and so all the pressure there, you know, and up to that point, she didn't think about having to navigate the pressure. It was just something that was a part of life. Now, what you discovered later that added to that pressure when that came out through the lawsuit with Dr. Nasser and stuff like that, you understood the pressure in a different way. You know, let me put it like this: it's giving beauty contests. Yeah. With that kind of pressure. You feel what I'm saying? And in other words, we all know the type of pressure that those young beauty queens are under. What's that girl's name? That little girl's name? John Renee Bobby. What's her name? Renee Ramsey or something like that. Right? That kind of exposed that world a little bit, you know, to where there's that kind of pressure, you know. So, you know, you're talking about playing and pushing through injuries and, you know, not necessarily letting them be a kid, you know. And you saw from an early age when she was on that single vault. Look at, you know, when one flip was amazing, right? You know, so I think the Olympics was just a culmination of the pressure that had built up from a very, very early age, you know, not to mention, you know, outside pressures of besides gymnastics, right? You know, what's going on in your home life. They still got to get school in one way or the other. The popularity, you know, now not only Simone Biles, what makes her even more great, HRap, is that she had to deal with the criticism that Dominique Dawes got and Gabby, I can't remember, Gabby Douglas got. And you follow me? You know, so when Gabby Douglas won, before she won, she didn't have to think about her. Right. After she won, she did. Now every sister coming after you got to think about that. Right? You follow me? So I'm not only carrying the normal pressures, I'm carrying the pressures of an entire community.
Right. And when you're great, you just get pressure based on that. And this is you know, CJ said LeBron's championship in 2020. People put an asterisk by it. Like, you still had to win a championship. It don't matter if it was in a bubble. You still had to play.
Damn sure the Mavericks would have won. Hell, I wouldn't. We won.
You're not putting no asterisk by it.
Yeah, the reason why you don't is because everybody had to play under the same rules. If they allowed, the Western Conference Finals was in a bubble, but because the laws were different in the East Coast, they got to play at their home arenas. Then maybe you can put an asterisk on it, but everybody played under the exact same conditions, under the same rules. And in it that way, what's the difference between that and playing on a rainy field or on a snowy field or on a, you follow me? Okay, is the NFC representative going to be less than because they got to play in a dome versus the AFC who had to go through Buffalo to get to the championship? It doesn't matter, you're right? As long as the participants had to suffer the same fate, you know, and they did, or consequences, or, you know, stipulations, and they did. So as far as I'm concerned, that's why you can't. They just handled it better.
Right.
Simple as that. Some people say Mavericks on the outside might not have advanced as far as they did in the bubble, you know, but because their team camaraderie and chemistry was better than some, that helped vault them. And that's just, hey, we dealt with those circumstances better than you. We won, you know.
Simple as
what it is.
Yeah. HRap.
And I'm not a LeBron fan saying that. Hey,
I mean, like I said, man, this I was already a fan of hers, and this just proves how difficult it is to be who these people are. You know, it made being Michael Jordan be a little more special. It made being Kobe Bryant be a little more special, especially as CJ mentioned. It made LeBron James seems to be a little more special. And here's the thing: they only have the pressure of people in the United States.
Yeah,
this young lady was the entire world was watching her.
Yeah,
you know, it's amazing, man. I mean, this is intestinal fortitude beyond belief. And it kind of I was watching this situation because Gavin, me and you know, Cool Cell was criticizing her for stepping down, and it just shows the asinine ability of sports fans to just impose their superficial guidelines on another human being.
Right.
So, Jason, what I'm about to say is going to be horrible, but I'm cool with saying that Jason Whitlock was the first person I almost wished death on when I saw what he said, and that's how disappointed.
And the issue is, obviously, you're not in their shoes. You don't know what's going on in their head. You don't know all of the. We just see what is given to us. We don't see the behind. So now Jason Whitlock watching this probably feels like an idiot because now you see the reason and why
you don't live my
did
life.
what she did. Yeah.
Not to mention Dr. NASA, she was one of his first victims. And when she came and brought it to the world, they told her, no, it ain't that serious. So back it up with that.
Right.
And he said that after knowing that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the level of things he was guilty of is just unexcusable. It's no excuse. It's repulsive. Like, especially when they trusted you. That means parents trusted you. That means the team, coaches, and all those people trusted you. And
trainers,
you just did what you wanted to do.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
To little girls.
Right. Exactly. That are defenseless.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Wilks, anything you want to add?
No, I think that pretty much covered it because I also remember that coming up also, them holding I want to say it was even on C-SPAN. I thought it was that big.
Trial, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was. And how many other, things we've heard about, women abuse, maybe women abusing the other kids if they're not falling, they're hitting them, they're not standing correctly, they're throwing stuff out. I mean, it's just
and I'm gonna say this too. So check this aspect of it. They didn't dig into this a lot, but in the world of gymnastics, right? Because a lot of the other countries, the Germans and Russians, and a lot of those other countries were winning consistently, right? Nadia Comaneci and winning all these titles in gymnastics. That what America started doing, what USA started doing, is grabbing the coaches from there. Yeah. Well, you got to understand the coaching culture there is a hell of a lot different than the coaching culture here. Yeah. Hell, some of these countries, they threaten your family if you don't perform well in events like that. And that's not hyperbole. Right. That is the truth, So the coaches, they are a little bit more heavy-handed than we were here. And so I think what happened is they came over with that heavy-handed approach and it grew, because again, they start performing too. So that leeway to be heavy-handed got extended. Those boundaries got erased and blurred.
Sometimes they had the coach's family hostage. You ain't winning.
Yeah.
And they had that married couple that had a camp. I believe it was here in Texas.
Yeah, that's right.
And they were. It was like military. I mean, and they breaks and I think that goes into what's happening now with sports. Even in NFL, there's only two preseason games, 2 or 3 depending on whatever's going on, and then they're limited on what you can do. And I think Dominique Dawes was in this, and she was one of them was saying, it doesn't have to be that much pressure in order for them to be great.
Yeah.
And obviously you can see that.
And I'm gonna tell you how if you don't know that there's pressure, look at how they're aging.
Yeah.
Name one person that aged well in this thing that was a former athlete.
Right. Most of them didn't recognize.
No offense.
Right.
You know, when you say no offense, you clear from all wrongdoing.
Right.
You say,
I like to strike that from the record.
Yeah. But seriously, you know, that tells you the pressure. You know, they aging like presidents in this motherfucker.
right. And you know, I'm not trying to be mean, but you know, that's the other.
Yeah.
That other saying.
I hope you don't take this the wrong way, but
Right. Yeah.
Right. Bless your heart.
Yeah. Some of my best friends are black. Yeah.
right.
Yeah, and I think it takes a lot of a person to say, I don't feel comfortable. I could hurt myself. I'm gonna step away. Because what athletes do a lot of times, there's endless stories.
Right.
They continue to play.
Right.
The coach and the trainer says, no, he's fine. They continue to play. They end up tearing their Achilles. Having a KD, having a variety of different athletes. And then it ends up being like, well, maybe you should have just not played. Like, they really can't win. Either you play or don't play. You can get both sides of it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, RG3 was never the same after he had that knee injury.
Yeah, never. Yeah.
And he just got fired.
Right.
Did he?
He did, yeah.
He wasn't half bad at it, to be perfectly honest with you.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
He brought some charisma. He brought some.
They got tired of him running around Paris with that white lady. Get his ass out of here, man.
It's always the white lady that gets you, baby. Ass Mandingo.
All right.
I think that was his wife.
That's what she said.
But okay, so let's talk about similarities between this and, was it Coco Gauff? That was the tennis player that just recently.
Mm-hmm.
No, it wasn't. Was it Coco Gauff?
You talking about Naomi
Osaka, right?
Naomi Osaka.
Yeah, it was her. Same situation, right? You know, so a lot of parallels to that. You know.
Yeah. And that just goes to, we value mental health more now.
Yeah.
And I think the athlete is more, mature, and again, it's more of a brand now than it is like, I just got to do what my coach says. Like, I got my own brand.
Well, think about it. Think about it. Some of these sports, man, that the athletes that are, you know, from our community, right? So a lot of times sports saw mental health the way our community saw mental health, right? Yeah, you know, right. As it was a weakness. Right. You know, and so now some of those, you know, misnomers and myths are being, you know, dismantled. So, we're taking a different look at it.
Yeah. Let's look at this comment by CJ. That's very difficult for a true athlete. Telling somebody that does this for a living to stop competing is damn near like telling a regular person to stop breathing.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I don't know. I think it's more we can see the results of toughing it out better now. See, when Bill Russell toughed it out, he just went on and lived his life. When the doctor and when Walter Payton, when they went on, they just lived their lives. Now, with media being in everybody's hand potentially, I believe athletes see. Like it brings y'all sports fans. So I know y'all watch Full Court on TNT with Barkley and all those former athletes. One thing, every time I hear about an athlete saying, "No, I'm gonna go ahead and get healthy," instead of being healthy enough to play, it's when Chris Webber said this about they were talking about toughing it out, and Chris Webber said, "You ever seen Bill Russell walk?" And he shut the room up.
Right.
The struggle.
He need to sit down. And I was like, yep. And I personally have experience with it back in 2010. My son was on the football team, and I went to every one of his games. I had a family emergency. And before I left, I said, B, if you hurt your head, sit down. Took care of the emergency, came back at halftime, and he was sitting on his helmet. And I just walked up. I said, "You cool?" He said, "Yeah, I hurt my head." He said, "I'm thinking about quitting too." I said, "Yeah, let me know." I said, "I got your back." And, you know, thank God I've never had a head injury. Like CJ said, I probably wouldn't have quit because of my heritage and the history of head injuries in my family.
Yeah.
My dad. I probably would have quit, but I'm sitting here with an achy back right now. Because, and 50% of it from a car wreck and 50% of it's from football. So no.
Yeah, and that's Calvin Johnson. Everybody was like, man, why are you retiring? And he said, man, it's hard for me to get out of bed. He's less, I don't think he's 40 years old.
Who was the quarterback for the Colts? What was the
Johnny Unitas?
Sorry, not the ball.
Andrew Luck.
Yeah,
Andrew Luck.
The training camp.
I named quarterbacks for the Colts. Hell, I might not have been what you were looking for here, but that's what they were.
Yeah. Well, man, Calvin Johnson stepped away abruptly, and people were like, "Why? Well, like you could have still played." He's like, "It's hard for me to get out of bed. It's hard for me to like grip a cup. It's hard for me to do basic things that y'all people talking sitting on the couch."
It's my
corn chips.
Right. It's my job to run into you at 22, 30 miles per hour, man.
If nobody has seen that concussion movie, the NFL
the one with Will Smith.
They tried to sweep it, but it tells you everything that it breaks everything
and
down.
Now, don't every time an athlete, a former football player passes away, ain't that the first thing you thinking of?
First thing I'm thinking.
First thing I think.
And sometimes it's the way. Because if they end up
and
that's immediately that's what you go to. Yeah. And to be all honest, Antonio Brown, he got a podcast or a whole network. I think it's called CTESPN.
The views expressed in this program are not those of BS3
I don't know.
Network, even though they're being spouted by BS3 himself.
He said it. I'm not lying. I'm not making it up.
I'm lying on that.
As a Colts fan, I have no beef with Andrew Luck retiring early.
Oh, not at all.
Because at the end of the day, when you retire and you go home and you live in your life, 9 times out of 10 people ain't gonna think of you. And I could be, oh man, let's go. Let's send Andrew Luck some get well letters. Let's come by. Let's shout him out. So same thing with Simone Biles.
Your body tell you, man.
Yeah, you gotta listen. And so we talked about Wilks. You mentioned it, the twisties. I never heard of that.
That was the first time I heard it.
I don't know what that was.
I thought twisties was a thing you keep your bread fresh with.
Hey, that's what I said. I was like, they talking about bread wrappers?
It's
the same thing.
What's up, Blue Street?
But I got an obsession because I save all of those. They're in my drunk drawer right now. So if anybody ever needs extra twisties, I got them.
And that's the easiest thing to get lost.
I used to keep a Ziploc bag of twisties, but not anymore.
They get lost so
I
easy.
admire you, sir.
Those that little white clip.
Yeah.
They put on the bread.
I got a drawer.
But if anybody is selling an aluminum foil ball from Pee Wee Herman show,
yeah.
What's up, Blue Streak, who's also nominated for Supporter of the Year. Shout out to you. Thank you for your support.
The twisties. Let's talk about that for a little bit.
Yeah. So it's a gymnastics phenomenon where an athlete suddenly loses their sense of where their body is in space. That sense is crucial in gymnastics, and a sudden loss it could result in more than just a loss in competition, as it could lead to a serious injury or even paralysis.
I can see that, I'm sure. Let me say this: I'm sure a small potential lies with this in, let's just say, track and field for pole vaulters or high jumpers or whatever, right? But the difference may be is these gymnasts are flipping at a quicker rate, right? Their rate of flipping is quicker than what a pole vaulter or a high jumper does. And generally there's just one upside down turn for a pole vaulter or a high vaulter. Right. But for a gymnast, there may be 3 or 4, at a high rate of speed. So I can see that. To me, that's when I think about, can I do a back flip, or can I go do, how they'll go start running and do 4 or 5 flips in a row? Can I do that? My first thing is I'd lose track of where I was at. I wouldn't know what was up and what was down.
Yeah. So I'm also curious if they have to not look at the lights. I'm sure they're
and plus I'm big boned too, but go ahead. It's water weight.
I don't know.
My big mama just said, he be big bone. He husky, leave him alone.
Take this honey bun and go sit down.
Bronson is part of my no clip. But so it's one of those things where I'm sure they can't look at the lights. They have to focus on where they're going to land. Yeah. I can't imagine. I'd be looking all over the place.
And she has. They're doing it from a young age, man. Like from a kid.
Yeah.
Like 4 years old, 5 years old.
Yeah. Go ahead, Extra.
It happens in baseball a lot, actually. This pitcher from St. Louis, Avery, they moved to the outfield. He couldn't throw the ball over the home plate.
Oh, yeah.
It happened to him. He got over it. Chuck Knobloch, it ended his career. He couldn't throw the ball from second base to first base.
And that's the easiest throw in baseball. There's a catcher. There was a catcher that couldn't do. Yeah, the yips in baseball. A catcher couldn't throw the ball back to the pitcher. Imagine how dangerous that is. He's overthrowing, he bouncing in.
And that's A1. You got to do that every time.
It goes without thinking, but that's the problem. Exactly. They start thinking.
Right. And so for her, who has, I believe it's 5.
5 elements named after her. 5 skills.
And the amount of flips that she does, and also the surface is not. Most of them are not soft. It's not like you're falling in sand. It's not like when you do the pole vault, you're falling into a parachute.
It's padding, but if you fall on your head, you still die.
Oh, yeah.
Or break your neck or whatever the case may be.
Especially at that high speed. Oh,
yeah.
No.
And if you're coming off the parallel bars, that's a higher, that's up higher, than vault or, but then for her, she's getting more height than the average gymnast.
Oh, right.
So she's getting more speed, more height. So for her, it's more dangerous, Figure skaters probably suffered a bit, I bet, trying to do a triple Lutz, or whatever.
Yeah. And there was, with the Olympics going on, they showed this old clip. This girl was probably 14, 16, and they called it a dead flip. Where you're
a great name for it.
No, but here's why. So it's only one bar, I guess, at that point in time, maybe. And you're standing up on the bar, and you do a flip off the bar standing on. So they had to basically eliminate that because if you move one pinky toe, it's over.
Oh, you're gonna shoot folks in their pinky toe, huh? Oh, I like it.
Put it out there. Let me see. Put it all out there.
But it also contributes to the statement that she might be the greatest at everything. The greatest at whatever she does. Compare her to everybody in the world. Simply because in the World Championships last year, the last World Championships in 22, excuse me, and even in the 16 Olympics leading up to the 16 World Championships, 18 World Championships, the thing was you had coaches in other countries saying you have to outlaw what she's doing because we can't teach her.
We can't do it. Right.
Yeah. We cannot teach what she's doing. So we should outlaw her.
Yeah.
That's your bad.
Yeah. So imagine sports fan. Here's a comparison that doesn't even measure up. Bob Hayes was one of the greatest, one of the fastest. He changed the way the NFL played defense. There was no zone before then, right? So she's basically, not only has she changed a defense, she's not just changed one move, not 2, not 3, not 4. She's got 4 moves that are her own, and she took another one from somebody else.
Right.
Because she did what was named after them better than they did.
Right. It's never been done. And she's got the most medals.
Yeah.
She's got the most medals of all time. So
37.
Yeah.
She did.
And that's after dropping out of Tokyo.
Right. And the fact that if you do one pole vault or you do one move and you realize, okay, I don't know where I'm at.
Yeah.
Like immediately you gotta think like I can't do this. I'm gonna hurt myself. And she didn't really have. And she had the support of her team too,
right?
Which I think was
what
good.
may be little known is the physical. I still don't think we're necessarily in touch with the manifestation that mental health does on a physical body. It has physical manifestations. Like sometimes you go to the doctor and they're like, when they're saying it's in his head, he doesn't really have whatever condition it is. It's in his head, mental health has a physical manifestation sometimes, and that is no different than what this is.
Right. True.
And it's all, one another thing that just continue to big up Simone is this. This shows you how being a jerk don't pay off. Because if she would have been a jerk, it's just been like, whatever. By her, always supporting her teammates, always encouraging, rallying the troops, being there for her friends and her teammates and everybody. It galvanized and supported her until she was right. Which lets you know all that. And you got to be, no disrespect to Kobe or Michael.
Oh, Michael, that's exactly where I was gonna go. Yep.
And Mamba mentality, and to discredit young LeBron James. This is letting you know, hey, maybe you don't have to be that unless you're in the midst of competition.
Yeah.
And once you step off the court, you can be everybody's friend.
Yeah. Here's the deal. They, see, to me, it's a matter of they may have needed to be that for themselves, if that makes any sense. You don't need to be that to get your teammates up, right? Because everybody doesn't respond the same way. Shit, I might can go, if we need something out of this show, I might can go to Wilks and say, hey, Wilks, just give me a little something on XYZ, But I might need to come to HRap and say, HRap, you better than that shit, man. Come on, man. You HRap, nigga. You follow what I'm saying? He may get coaching better that way,
Yeah, absolutely.
So, it can't be a cookie cutter approach. That's for certain.
Right.
Yeah, I think to Dawk's point, I think it's like, it's almost like, look, I know I look like I'm stepping on your toes, but I might be really stepping on your toes.
Yeah.
But this is more so for me and in hopes that, not that you fall in line with the way I'm moving, but you just kind of respect that, hey, this lady needs this at the end of the day, only to leave it all on the court or in the ring or whatever the case is. And it was like, man, it's not meant to be overbearing or be a jerk about it, but I have to play like this because my coaches said I wouldn't be here, or my doctor said I wouldn't be here because of a health scare or something like that.
Well, see, I'm going to tell you what happens to somebody who criticizes or calls somebody else out. You have just put the spotlight on yourself. You cannot criticize or call somebody else out and half-ass whatever. You follow what I'm saying? So that's the first thing. Like anybody who's ever reported to me who comes and says something about their adjuster or a fellow adjuster or fellow coworker, I'm like, do you understand that by bringing this out, that means you got to be tight in this area from now on.
Yeah.
A1.
So you better be careful at who you calling out. If your stuff, like that's what Mama used to say, sweep around your own back though.
Right.
So you start sweeping around mine.
Right.
Don't track your shit in my house.
What's up, Denise? Denise
Be great.
In the building. Thank you for tuning in. All right, so she ends up stepping out, but she didn't leave.
Stepping out.
She's setting the stands.
Stepping out on the series. Stepping out.
Man.
She ended up still sitting there supporting her team. And I think that shows the unselfishness. Like, even though I know I'm not competing.
And she was still mentally fried. You could see the look on her face like, what the is happening?
Yeah. And it wasn't like I'm doing this because I fully understand, and she didn't really get what was going on.
You noticed that she had to get her mom to sign off on it.
Yeah,
she called her mama first, and her mama had to say, "Baby, if you don't feel it, step away." So she hadn't even made the decision completely.
Right.
So the fact that she went back and supported her teammates after that tells you that was just instincts. So that means that's who she is, because she was still lost and trying to figure her own out stuff. How many people would have been in the locker room with their head in their hands?
Right.
Crying profusely, just like, what is going on? This is it. This is, the Olympics is only once every 4 years. I'm not guaranteed to be. The body changes immensely in 4 years,
And it's got to happen right now. And she said it. This is happening right now. It's got to happen right now. Like, I've been practicing and all of this, and it's happening now.
I mean, there were even times where you saw the camera and she when she was talking about those moments and they would cut to she was just
yeah, you could tell she was spaced out.
I'm not even here right now. I'm trying to make sure I, control this demon that's trying to whatever the case is. But
So she ends up stepping out, And then I believe that kind of ends episode 1, and then 2 goes into I Will Not Be Broken. So at the World Championships, and I think one of the
well, hang on before we talk about how they ended episode 1. This is worth one mic in and of itself. The way they ended episode number 1, where she touched the vault and it went away.
Yeah.
So you couldn't know what was, if you didn't already know the story, you didn't know what was about to happen. I thought that was ingenious.
Yeah, it was great production, put together very well. And this was another one of those Netflix sports series that they've been doing a great job. They got the receiver one, which is a good one.
Look out, NFL
quarterback
fan.
one. Yeah, really.
The only thing you got is the great voice of John Vicinda back in the day, who tells a story like nobody else. Boy, get your chills just hearing about the frozen tundra of Green Bay. But then Netflix is trying to develop a new niche for themselves.
So, she was on autopilot. I agree with you. I agree with you. And they even got the first live boxing match, which I don't know if you call it a match, but Tyson versus Jake Paul. That's going to be coming up.
You mean a scripted fight?
Yeah. Please knock him out, please, with both hands crossed, please.
It's a side mission for Jake Paul. You got to get knocked out.
Just knock him out, okay? So he can stop. But so anyway, episode 2 at the World Championships, all eyes are on Simone, obviously. But as she looks towards Paris, experiences from the past are shaping how she thinks about the future. Now, episode 1, did they have her husband, or was that more so?
No, I think he was in. They not as much as episode 2, but they did show that they were there. So they didn't necessarily get into all the, he's a Packer and she's at the games and all that, because that started a little bit more in Paris, because it was more of their comeback. So
she's she's having to kind of regroup, reassess, not coming to the gym every day. A lot of those different things, when you think of athletes, people say they're a gym rat, or they're there all the time. And I would definitely see her as one of those that was there all the time, but she had to just take time and step away. I mean, they don't, like, how many times do they get a vacation? Like, we get vacation, we done doing work and we stepping away.
Right.
How often do athletes like this,
and that type of sport with that type of discipline, you can't, if you step away too long, you're going to lose some skill, I would imagine.
But it sounded like, even when she was talking about in the first, I guess it was more so in the first,
Chef
talking about how much time she spent at the gym and going to the gym, and even if I didn't go to the gym, I was just there supporting, and they would say, "Oh, come back tomorrow," and
and she would just go. I think she said she would go and park, but she wouldn't even go in. I mean, she was just mentally trying to get there. Go ahead, HRap.
But you know what? Like, this is off the beaten path of what we're actually speaking about, but this is something about athletes and in general. I think that whole focusing, just 10 fingers, 10 toes, you have nothing else on your mind but your activity. That's within the last 15 to 20 years.
That's right.
If you think about it.
That's right.
Let's go 60 years ago when Mickey Mantle and Roger Maris were the man. Mickey Mantle was a drug addict. He was an alcoholic. They were doing all these other things. Not saying that you need to go get high, but you can't be that. Sometimes you do. On what you're doing, I believe the fact that you're so concentrated on this one activity leads to injuries. That leads to injuries more than
Fantastic point.
Jackie Robinson, All-American baseball player, All-American football player, All-American track star, and All-American basketball player. Dave Winfield was drafted in the ABA, NBA, MLB, and NFL. So you can't just be focused on one thing.
Right.
And that's why I believe that it eventually tears down the body. Bob Gibson played for the Globetrotters, and he played for he a Hall of Fame pitcher. Wilt is a Hall of Fame. Wilt Chamberlain still has track and field records at Kansas today.
Wow.
And hell, Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson was great, man, but he trying to play 2 sports. His body just broke.
But Bo, that was a freak injury. Bo ran track. Bo played baseball.
So it's a situation. Here the deal is, HRap, to support your point, that it not only, so when you play all those other sports, it's developing muscles and that you don't typically use on a daily basis. So you were a more well-rounded athlete from a physical specimen standpoint than I'm developing these one group of muscles for this particular
here.
Right. So not only did it have from a mental standpoint, it gave you a break by being in other sports. So it has a physical component and a mental component by being a multi-sport athlete. That is one of the things that I'm saddest about for kids, especially in high school, like coming into freshman year. You almost have to declare at your freshman year, at the latest, you have to declare what your sport is. And I think that's sad. Unless you are just truly, truly, truly exceptional at all of them, they're not going to let you do it.
Hey, and CJ, you're right. I mean, the coaches, everybody. They was doing a line, come out there,
I was
do
gonna
the
say
beer.
at halftime, they smoking on the bench.
They eating hot dogs on the sideline.
Yeah.
And being to debunk that, the Bo Jackson theory, not to put you on Front Street or nothing.
Yeah.
But to debunk that.
Put his ass on
Bo
Front Street.
I'll take it.
Bo Jackson theory. Deion Sanders played at Florida State while Bo Jackson was at Auburn. Both of them played All-American level baseball. Both of them played All-American level football. Both of them went to MLB and dominated. So the Bo Jackson thing was a freak accident. If that don't happen to Bo might be the only dude to make it in the Hall of Fame in
both sports. You're right, man. You are 100%.
I hate that ended
100% right.
happening. I was there. I was a big fan.
Prime was an all-state basketball player. People don't know about that.
Oh yeah.
Prime has 27 points a night with no 3-point line.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, she going through to the World Championships, which then obviously COVID was over with. Her family was there, which was a big piece. Her mom was able to braid her hair, which, man, we talk about everything we've done. That's culture. The mom is gonna braid the girl's hair. That's a part of not just. It's when we go to the barbershop. It's not just a part of getting your hair cut. That's a part of community.
Man, look at her. You want to talk about
Yeah. So for her, that was well needed. Her mom felt it like you needed this, and that kind of goes back to COVID was just a different beast. Some people needed the crowd, some people needed their family, and some people was okay with it, but not everybody's the same.
Yeah. And you know what? I want to stick up for CJ's generation, right? Well, not only because I have a child, and me, CJ and my daughter are the same age. She'll be 27 in December. He's already 27. They're born in 97. But this is something if I wish I could have y'all here with me, I could screenshot y'all and show y'all notes from literally when I first started doing Into the Bench at my phone. I put exposure, support equals opportunity. Simone Biles' mother and father are drug addicts. Her grandparents stepped up. That allowed her to have the exposure to this.
Yeah.
They gave her the support that she needed. And that created an opportunity for her to be one of the most revered humans in the history of the earth. While we always, as a community in America and the United States, we always wag our finger at CJ's generation and younger. See, that's what's wrong with these young people. But are we exposing them to the right things? Are we supporting them in the right ways so they'll have the opportunities to be the best human being they could be? Simone Biles could have been lost in the mix in the foster care system. Her grandparents, her uncles, her family gave her that support. And that's what I took away from episode 2. If we as a United States culture, I'm not even speaking on a cultural or a racial aspect, we denigrate these young people and we wag the finger. Well, you know what? Who raised that young person? And who raised the person who reared that young person? So instead of always saying what's wrong with the young folks, these middle-aged and these elders need to be held accountable. That's it.
Right. And really to your point, are the middle-aged and the elders having conversations with these young people? Or are they just saying are they speaking at them and not to them? I think that's
that's my thing right there, man.
Yeah. CJ said we all remember when Allen Iverson was getting his hair braided on the sideline. Yeah, man. Iverson,
legendary.
he's in the Hall of Fame for changing the entire culture of the NBA. They came up with the dress code because of Allen Iverson.
Right.
So yeah, I got it. Yeah. All right, I know you gotta get ready to run, right, dog?
Yeah, and I just put up what Rotten Tomatoes 100%, IMDb 7.10 out of 10, Common Sense Media 4 out of 5. We don't hear a lot out of Common Sense Media, but they've weighed in on this one. Google 82%, but that mic rating of Rotten Tomatoes 100%. What is that? The second time we've seen this?
Yeah,
since we've been doing the show. I think we might have seen it one more time, but needless to say, it's extremely rare. So that speaks volumes for it. It's hard in these situations to give it a proper mic rating because, again, it pulls on your heartstrings in so many different ways, right? Mm-hmm. So HRap was talking about the one element he pulled from it in the exposure, opportunity, and support, right? Well, one of the things I pulled for, because they talked a lot about the hair in this episode, is that how many times do you hear men talking about women's hair? And I started thinking about it's women applying pressure to themselves because it's women being critical of women, in this situation, So anyway, so I got that out of it. So my point is that, there's a fine line between the heartstrings of the story and the effectiveness of the documentary, but I think taking both of those things into consideration, I think it's a solid 4 for me.
Okay.
It's a solid 4,
You started at a 4?
Yeah, I was at a 4, but I probably started more like a 3.5. I probably came up an extra half a rating or so just based on hearing y'all's take on it as well. So so I think it's a solid 4 though. A 4 that they don't have to be ashamed of.
Yeah. And I felt like it gave you some of everything. When it get into episode 2, it kind of gave us her relationship and how she was in love and she had somebody that supported her. Mm-hmm. We talk a lot about, on BSU Network, a lot of shows talk about relationships and how you may have someone that's more selfish and I'm going to do, we basically live in 2 separate lives, but we married. Mm-hmm. And in episode 2, you've seen that they were living and they were doing, relationship. It wasn't just a one-sided thing. Yeah. And I think that was vital for her too, to be able to come back.
Great point. She may not make that comeback if it weren't for that having such a healthy relationship like that, man. I'm impressed with that young man, man. You want to talk about sometimes documentaries make you come back out and want to do more research on a particular person. I don't necessarily want to do more research on him, but I want to follow his career a little bit more. I want to root for him,
Now, go to the pivot. Mm-hmm. He's on the pivot. He's on the episode of the pivot. You'll like him.
Okay.
Hey, and the pivot is great. Shout out to them brothers, man. They do an excellent job. Now, on that podcast, let me get y'all take on this. And do y'all believe he didn't know who she was? That's what he said.
Yeah.
To me,
I don't know.
It's kind of hard for me to believe.
I can believe that from athletes because athletes are they're not in the same world that we in, man. Those high level athletes, their focus level is a little different. So I can believe he missed it. I really can.
Okay, watch this. You know who Grant Fuhrer is?
I do. He's a goalie for.
Oh.
No.
Grant Fuhrer is?
Yeah, and he covered.
Is the most successful goalie in NHL history, and he just happened to be black.
Yeah. Yeah.
And guess who he used to play right next to?
Wayne Gretzky, the great one. Yeah.
That's why I think he cannot know who she is. Because, did we know who the sister who was challenging her this year?
That don't count.
I didn't know her. Yeah, I didn't know her.
We didn't know her?
Yeah.
Nah, man. That don't count.
If she walked up on you tomorrow, you'd be like,
that don't count.
No, I wouldn't be like, I'd be like, get away from me. I'm married, ma'am. You can't stand this close to me. She will kill us. She will kill both of us and leave our dead corpses to rot in the 104 degrees heat. So leave me alone.
Go ahead, Wilks.
Right there with you in Dallas, Texas. The position's assistant, Gabby Thomas. Did not know who she was before this Olympics.
Gabby Douglas or Gabby Thomas?
Gabby Thomas.
Okay, so it's a new Gabby.
200.
Okay.
She's in the 200.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. HRap, I'm with you on it. Yeah, I'm with you on it. Very possible.
It's a lady who she calls herself a mixologist, but she got a PhD. So
I mean, think about this too. Do you think a 40-plus-year-old black person would have missed Trading Places?
No.
Right?
You follow me? Like, who could miss that movie, right?
True.
But we all have blind spots. There's some movies the other day, my wife was asking me about something, and she's like, you haven't heard? I'm like, no. Yeah. I don't know. I had never heard of that, whatever. Yeah. So we get blind spots from time to time. So I take him at his word.
I can't take that, man. From a guy that doesn't listen to music and most of the movies we watch, I can't take that, man. I can't take that. I can't take that.
Well, see, I got to bounce, gentlemen.
But how many times have we watched movies? Thank you, Wilks. How many times have we watched movies and y'all went, hey, man, it was the best song. Remember this song? And I'm like,
nah, I don't know that song.
I ain't hear none of it.
I didn't hear none of that, man.
All right, dog.
One love, fellas.
See you next week. Queen King tomorrow?
Oh, yeah. Oh, tomorrow's episode. Fuck around and find out. That's what the episode is.
Okay.
Fuck around and find out. We're going to break that down. What exactly does that mean? When was the time you fucked around and found out? Tomorrow, 7 o'clock, Queen 3 King. So if y'all got any good stories, jump in and let us know.
I found out.
Fifth period, you said? Well, I stole that honey bun. I fucked around and found out. Yeah. What the penitentiary looked like. All right, one love.
All right.
And I think everybody had that when you said something smart to your mama. You definitely.
No.
Yeah. Miss that fifth period if you want to. You go to science class.
That's something I didn't need to mess around and find out on.
Yeah. Right. I think the best thing for a relationship is to have a couple that cheers for and support each other. I agree. And he definitely did that throughout this entire thing, because some people aren't built to support other people. Or when you're going through something, some people just don't know how to react and how to support that person without trying to fix it. I mean, I've been told that numerous times to my wife. You're always trying to fix it. I mean, that's kind of the male's way. But I think his name is Jonathan Owens. Jonathan Owens. But he was definitely a huge support. What is good? What good is the cheers from fans when you don't have the most important person in your life cheering and supporting you? So I love their relationship, partnership, friendship, marriage. Yeah, we appreciate you. Yeah, we probably got about we got a little bit left in the show.
You know what? We may have jumped the gun, Ben. I rewatched it this morning, and it's another episode coming.
Yeah, is it soon?
France.
Yeah, I did see that. And they had one called Sprint, which kind of follows.
That's already out. That's been out.
Yeah, but they're coming out with another part to that too. So, hey, the Netflix sports series, man, they're killing it, and they're coming out with something. The Olympics was perfect timing for this. Mm-hmm. Okay, so they're at the World Championship. She's starting to come back and showing up and practicing, and I mean, her teammates are like, "Yeah, just keep coming," and she's like, I'm just not feeling it. Some days she was feeling it, some days she wasn't. And like we all go through that. We feeling it some days we not feeling it. But you continue to move on. I mean, and she getting in that big body Benz. What is that? That
G-Wagon.
Getting in that G-Wagon 4.9, hopping up and getting on that step stool in that G-Wagon, but she riding though, man. I shout out to her.
I was like, the first thing I saw, I was like, why is the steering wheel so damn close? I was like, that airbag going up. Thank God, hope it doesn't. But I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, she's so short, and then hopping. And even her husband was like, yeah, when I first seen her, and I was like, when she got out the car, I was like, where you at? But hey, that's that love. I've been watching the sports series on Netflix is on fire. They are. Everything they've come out with so far, they even have these untold series, which they done one on and they did one on Malice in the Palace, which we reviewed that.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, so they've done a lot of great ones.
I need that Harry Hines documentary, but they tripping, man.
You know what's funny?
It's on Tubi. It's a Tubi Plus, baby.
Dawk mentioned the NFL films, but shout out to NFL films because they used a lot of NFL films techniques with this. Showing as she's coming out. NFL Films is the first docuseries company to show the ball in the air. Before they were showing the ball in the air, rotate, you didn't see that. show the athlete running off the field. So they're using all of that same technology that was brought to us by NFL film. So yeah, like you say, that Netflix thing is taking off, and it's gonna be nonstop. And the beauty in it is
there's always something happening in the world of sports, and that's
what I was about to say.
Tennis. They did a tennis match, I believe, too.
You know what?
They do race car, Formula One.
Yeah.
ESPN was too proud. ESPN is going. Hey, he just said, mess around and find out. Right. ESPN is about to mess around and find out, because what Netflix is doing is what they started 20 years ago with their 30 for 30 series.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. And they kind of slowed down on it. Yeah. Yeah. They started right when I was about to cancel my subscription with them.
Yeah, we remember. She was like, "Man, I'm done with Netflix." Like, well, wait a minute, what?
Gotcha. Yeah, that's how it worked. So mentally, she's getting stronger. She's coming back to the World Championships, which was in what was it? Y'all know where the World Championships were? Y'all remember that?
Did it say Austria?
Maybe it was Austria.
UK, I thought, or something like that.
I don't even remember.
I can't remember.
Europe.
It was international.
It was somewhere over there.
It was international, but I can't remember exactly.
But she
came in.
What was it?
Maybe. Was it Berlin?
It was Berlin, maybe.
Oh, I think that does sound familiar. I think it was Berlin. That sounds familiar.
But I mean, she came in and she killed it. I mean, and I think she needed that time away. A lot of people need that time away to regroup, to get get themselves together, and that's a lot to deal with mentally at this level of sport, at how great. Because when you're at this level of greatness, the one moment that you have a slip up, I'm not gonna say a failure, when you have a mistake, it's like, oh, they're washed, or they're not good anymore. And that was what people were starting to say. And obviously it was, they were incorrect. But you fast forward to this Olympics, and I think she got silver or bronze, and her teammate bowed to the young lady from Brazil, and people were clowning for that. I mean, like we can't be happy for somebody else, especially for her that hadn't won. I mean,
she even said the girl in Brazil was doing crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Like that was her competition, and the girl from Brazil was like, "I don't want to go up against Simone Biles." Like, what?
Right. But her impact is now starting to go to the next generation.
I think it was more what her and that other sister said. See, because this wicked media here in America, we always doing this race baiting thing, and we were changing DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, to a curse word, right? Mm-hmm. And what they did was, the young lady is biracial, the one the silver, Simone won the bronze, and this Brazilian woman won the gold. And one thing they all three said, it was 3 black women on the podium. And the way the world is structured, they don't want to hear that, because that creates unity, and they think it's they treat the world as if it's a pie chart, and it's really just a graph, a bar, it's just a bar, a measuring stick. But if you want to look at the world like it's a pie, then you will be losing. If you just want to put it on a grading system, everybody wins, because guess what? Everybody can get an A. Everybody can get an A. But in some courses, like me, I suck at spelling, but I'm good at history. Yeah. That just because you're a great speller does not make me any less of a student. And that's what the world is being pushed into. And I believe that's why they had an issue with them bowing down to that one.
Yeah. Yeah. I could see it, because people just want something to complain about, to nitpick, and she's still great. I mean, you can't, it's undeniable.
That's true.
Yeah. So she ended up winning at the World Championships. Showing the support of her family and her brother and her sister. It looks like her twin. I don't know how many years apart. Maybe it was 1 or 2 years apart, but you couldn't tell.
You couldn't tell. Yeah, I was like, who am I looking at? Wait a minute.
Yeah, really. And then also in episode 2, they went into that camp and they started talking about how was it really necessary to put that much pressure? And then it talked about Nasser and that the I don't know if they were Russian or Hungarian. You're right, married couple.
Yeah, it always blows my mind when I see stuff like that, because as a kid, you watch these games if you did, but I know my grandparents, my house, we sat down and watched those games, and it's kind of like, man, the way they flipping through the air, I'm like, man, she doing it injured with the ankle, but then years later you find out it's like, yeah, they're pushing me to do this, and I don't want to keep doing this because
I'm a kid. It's a kid. She was 14,
crazy.
So the amount of pressure is unreal, and it's no level of pressure that any of us have faced unless we've played a sport at that level.
Yeah, because back then they're probably going to fish it to you that, you'll be renowned as a hero. People will see you as the great one, a champ. Then years later, it's just like, yeah, I still got rehab on my ankle. I still got.
Well, you like Mary Lou Retton on a GoFundMe trying to get money for your surgery.
Yeah.
Right. Like, come on. Like, what?
Yeah. And
40 years ago, he was the toast of the town.
Right. And they don't make a lot of money doing this, especially in other countries. I mean, they showed a comparison. I think Simone's bonus was in the millions, and somebody from China was
the other way, man. It's the other way.
Yeah.
These guys over here getting $36,000 to $40,000. They over there getting laid out. This one dude from this country,
like 32, 33. Yeah.
He finished in 10th. They gave him free rent for the rest of his life.
Wow.
He got a parade when he got home.
Wow. Hey, round of applause for that guy, man.
Yeah, he got like
free rent for the rest of his life.
Right. He the man now, and he was in 10th.
Yeah.
No, it's the other way. It's the other way here, because to support what you said, Simone just collectively earned $500 million.
Oh, easy, hands down.
Yeah.
Hands down.
But it's a dude that won the silver in archery. He ain't getting nothing. You know, he didn't work today.
Man, get that.
He just got off.
Oh, you won the silver? Good. Win the bronze over here at your work.
Hey, your job. As soon as he got off the track, your job calling. Hey, you ready to come back?
Right.
Somebody called in today. Can you come in?
Right. It's the other way, man. America treats their athletes like trash. Them other countries. I mean, but if you think about it, man,
that puts attention on their country, and we spoiled. This is to be honest. We spoiled.
Yeah.
We're normally especially when it comes to the Olympics, we were the top in medals again, the top in gold medals. I don't know if it was total medals.
I think we walked away with total and gold. Because
the gold,
he keeps track of that. We ran away with that.
I think China was second, but we're spoiled. We just expect
them
that
semifinals and final. Yeah, we kind of walked away after that.
Yeah.
Slow start, but then ended up walking away with it.
Yeah. So I think it's 4 episodes total. So they're gonna come out with a 3 and a 4. So we may be coming back to revisit this, but I felt like as we get into some final thoughts, Mike rating on Simone Biles Rising. HRap, go you first.
I'm going with 5, man. So far it's a 5. You get to know her, you get to know her family, you got to see her struggle, how she overcame. This is the ultimate story. I don't think when you say failure, I don't think that's too strong of a word. There's nothing wrong with failure. Failure creates another plateau. You know, I'm a firm believer. Like, of course, I wouldn't tell anybody to stay in college when you have opportunity to win millions of dollars. I mean, get millions of dollars in these drafts. But if you think about it, the athletes that failed in college the most, Tim Duncan, never got to the Final Four.
Yeah. Stayed all 4 years too, I believe.
He stayed all 4 years. So I think failure is a strong enough word. But man, you saw everything it is about this lady. And what I liked the most about her, I went into this super fan, geeking out on the young lady, proud of her. And I liked her even more simply because we got to see, it's going to sound crazy, but when she was using all that profanity, it made me like her more, not because I'm some proponent of profane language,
I don't think
The reason I enjoyed it is because that was who she was. She wasn't over the top with the profanity, but it was this instead of some curated, probably purebred image. This is who she was. So I'm gonna give it 5, man. So far,
yeah. I don't think that was a bad thing. To HRap's point, it was one of those things where it's like, look, I'm not Colgate Smile every damn night. This is not what I'm doing.
Right, it's impossible.
Right, stop. I'm not doing a Scope commercial. All right, this is not a damn Tide commercial. I'm not showing how lovely my fucking sheets smell. No, I'm not doing that. Okay, I'm out here making mistakes, trying to just do what I love and get back into what I'm doing. So no, I understand HRap's point. It almost makes the media and the sports world put them at God level, goddess level. But then when you see them making mistakes behind the camera or just struggling with things day to day, and how am I going to make these things work, or how am I going to get myself out of bed? That becomes the level of like, you know what? You're still human.
Yeah.
I am still. I'm not bulletproof.
Yeah.
My sports might be bulletproof. But even then, there may be a little kryptonite. But I think HRap's point is right on. And and as I was hearing, it's kind of funny because as I heard, I was like, "What'd she say?" You know?
I mean, she was keeping it real, and I think too. That's why I like documentaries so much, is because it shows you the person not just on the court, in the locker room. That's why I think The Last Dance was so great. I mean, that team was so great to see them just sit down and talk about it, to see Jordan just sit down and like, I didn't like that. I mean, to hear him in his grudge that he had and all of that, and with Simone, just being able to talk about it, like, man, I didn't like what was going on. I hated what was going on. The emotions, the ups and downs.
I'm from the West Side, man. Dude from the West Side of Chicago. I got to do that.
I know it's Isaiah, man. It's Isaiah.
West Side, man. It's the West Side, man.
Let's go, man. I think you're absolutely right. I think you need to see that moment, and it's not even about being vulnerable. It's about, this is who I am, damn it.
Who I am.
If I wasn't flipping and vaulting in here, this would be me every day. Like, what are you talking about?
Exactly. Yeah. What's your rating?
I'm gonna have to give it a 5. I mean, I enjoyed watching it. I know as a kid I enjoyed gymnastics very much. Because look, they doing what I'm not doing outside the backyard. They flipping and bouncing. I can't even do a cartwhile. So
I'm barely trying to do a cartwheel, right?
So y'all in here running and flipping and landing in spot. Yeah, hey man. So I've always enjoyed the Summer Olympics more than the Winter Olympics, but just because of gymnastics and track and field, I have my other favorites, but just something about the track and field and gymnastics and floor exercise is crazy. But I have to give it a 5. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. So I'll watch this.
They need to pick up track and field and gymnastics if they really want to keep people watching.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I like the other ones, but they're not going to be big as track and field and gymnastics.
Yeah.
Nobody care about no equestrians.
They don't care about no horses jumping over. Yeah.
Hey, man, with Snoop on there, I bet you people was watching it though.
No.
They was watching the highlights, man.
Highlight. Martha and Snoop. Yeah, they want to see Martha and Snoop. Right?
Yeah. Hey, they was puff passing off screen.
They don't want to see no slave horses jumping over no poles, man.
Right. Like,
Trauma, man. Trauma.
Hey, if you want to do something, bring up that sharp shooting with homeboy.
The dude was. Did he have his hand? Did he have his hand in his pocket?
That man had his hand in his pocket out there like a rapper.
Hey man, that dude, he's an assassin, man. You better watch that cat.
Yeah, really, that dude was an assassin.
When they do the next John Wick, look out for Buddy, man.
Hey, put him in there.
Man, hey, 15 years from now, that dude gonna be on the news, man. You better watch that cat, man.
I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, man, with his hand in his pocket, just mowing him down. Yeah, man.
Hey, they gonna start selling his glasses prescription, man.
Hey, get this dude some endorsements, man. Get him some. Get him a Glock endorsement, man.
I'm telling you, he gonna be the dude that ain't talking in the next John Wick. He gonna be at the desk. He gonna take the dude from the wire job. He at the desk, and then somebody gonna walk up. He go, and then,
right, go on about his business.
Hey, you the real John Wick.
Y'all owe me. That's my intellectual property, John Wick. If y'all steal my idea, I'm gonna need my bread.
I need my money.
Yeah.
But I agree with you, Wilks. Man, the Summer Olympics was always great. We all sat down and watched. I mean, the track and field, the Olympics, and my dad was definitely like, we only watch this if somebody look like us in it. Okay, if it ain't us, then we ain't watching. So I mean, we was watching all of that, man. We was whatever we was in, we was watching it. We was cheering them on.
Yeah, I just didn't get with the Winter Olympics. I mean,
I never have.
You just told you why.
We ain't in it.
Yeah, we not really in there. Yeah, we ain't there like that.
Hey, but you know what though? The Olympics itself is a beautiful situation. To show you how important the Olympics is in American, United States culture. I'm gonna stop calling it American culture because Canada is an American country. Yeah. But anyway, in the culture of the United States, you got rappers that be mentioning people that you never heard of, and then you will look them up, and you go, "Oh, they're an Olympian." It's this one dude from New York. His name is Diamond D. And I knew who she was because my sisters used to like her. He was like, I'm putting words together like Peter Jennings and skating on you clowns like Peggy Fleming. And I was like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And if you don't know who Peggy Fleming is, you'd be like, oh.
Right.
Yeah.
Hell, even Jada Kiss had a line. I could have sworn he was talking about Nancy Kerrigan and
Yeah. Hey man, Robert knows how to put anything. I was listening to this dude named Ransom. I don't know if y'all heard of him.
Oh yeah,
he used Wembanyama. Bro, hey, you got to be good. You got to be good to put that. Somebody use Antetokounmpo in a line in a verse. I mean, like
that source material, man. That's what I always loved. Hey, that's what I love about my boys over at Griselda Records and West Side Gun and Benny and Butcher and all them other man. I'm like,
shout out to Big Mo. He put me on to those cats, man.
Man.
That Buffalo rap, baby.
It's hard for me to do West Side Gun voice, though, man. His voice, I can't do it for that long.
He's not even rapping; he's talking.
hey, yo, he sound like the dude from Full Force on. That was funny. Hey, yo. Like, man, just put a little bit of bass, man.
Yeah,
please.
Yeah.
But you know what? Anyway, I wish you, because I've never listened to a Kendrick album because
his voice.
That voice, man. That voice.
Yeah, his voice be going up, down, up, down.
Yeah, he goes. His voice goes.
Man, I'll be like
what?
Yeah, he be all over the place. But so I'm gonna give it a 5. I think it gave you everything. And I watched this when my parents were in town a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. And we watched both of them. It felt like it was an hour, but it was 2 hours. It went by so fast. It gave you a lot of information, her backstory. I didn't know with her parents, and now it's coming out more with her mom. And I didn't know that was the backstory and all that. But it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful to see how you, even though you dealt a bad hand, you can't control how you born. You can change that, and it's like HRap, like you said, your environment, or grandparents coming in, nurturing her, getting to where she needed to go, and so and she is arguably the greatest because this is at a different level. I agree, HRap. It's a different level of sport that we're talking about.
I'm talking about. I think she's the greatest entertainer ever, sports entertainer. She's the greatest at making somebody think about it, man. Who's dominated their world like her in regards to entertainment? Actors haven't done it, Dave Lewis, but you can always say, well, what about Ed Norton? What about you? You can what about when you say this lady's name?
Yeah, it's four Olympics, right? This was her 4th.
This is for 4th Olympics. 4th. She got like 30. Because look, put like this. She's so dope. Siri got her answer wrong. Siri, how many medals does Simone Biles have? They said 16. She was like, look, Siri then came back. No, not you, Siri. and Siri got it wrong. She said, no, it's 30.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't she say like they said 17 or 28? And she's like, no, 37.
Yeah. And she I like she got a little swag to her too. I thought she was buttoned up. I mean, I thought she didn't joke, but she got some swag to her. People calling her out. She ain't afraid to go with go.
Oh, because what you're not gonna do is come for me, and I know what I've been dealing with after my. And especially, I had to step away from because I was going half.
Yeah.
Nah, what you're not gonna do is come for me. No.
Right.
No.
I agree.
I think of everything, Denise.
Yeah.
All
right. So coming up,
be the greatest athlete ever.
Yeah, and who knows where is this where the story ends? She hasn't necessarily said, but they even have some, maybe. Yeah, they even have some athletes that just do one event. So maybe she just do one event the next, or cut it down to a couple. I don't know, but
yeah,
I mean her greatness is not denied. Oh yeah, she's saucy. Yes, she is. I didn't know she had that, and she definitely.
And then she threw that black girl jab at the Panthers. I like their little cheer.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Nice little cheer. I was like, y'all don't even know what she said. She was speaking directly to us, like, look at this whack shit.
Right.
Like,
They all right.
Get this old hide ass out of here.
So right.
I was like, that's what I say, man. I'm with this little lady, man. She don't
sleep on it.
Shout out to CJ Generation, man.
Definitely. Oh, absolutely.
All right, so next week we'll be reviewing Parallel. This was a recommendation from Dawk. I watched the preview. It's got some suspense. It's got a thriller. It's on Apple. I believe it's on Apple TV.
Well, you better hope if you want Big Illinois to tune in, you better hope it's some nudity in it.
I don't know if it's any nudity.
No nudity, no Illinois.
Yeah, it's on Apple TV, and you can rent it on YouTube as well. But it's got a couple of actors we've already done. Edwin Hodge.
How have I not even seen this?
Aldous Hodge. Danielle Deadweiler. She was in The Harder They Fall. She's kind of the main actor, but it should be a good one.
Hey, I got one more thing. It ain't got nothing to do with this episode. This pretty. Hey, I want everybody to, if you haven't already started watching Average Joe, please start watching it.
I've seen the preview on
and please watch that. Dion Cole and that crew. We need to support them. This is funny. This is drama. This is everything. Because this is equivalent to The Wire, but from our point of view, because it's so culturally relevant, the way they just jab at each other, like you know how in the worst like on our program here, we could be talking about child molestation and one of us will throw in a zinger. They doing this on that show.
Yeah. Hey, and man, Dion Cole is so underrated. You don't get a lot of respect.
Where he from? No comment.
No comment.
Chi-Town.
Yeah.
Hey, and on Blackish, whatever scene he was in, he owned it. It was his.
Yeah,
I wanted to hear what he was about to say. I didn't even know he had that because it wasn't really. It was kind of like backhanded, kind of like The Office funny. He wasn't telling a joke. He would just reenact something or make a funny face. But I'm gonna check that out. Average Joe.
Man, you will do yourself a favor if you watch Average Joe. I'll put it on my social media, all over my social media today.
Yeah.
I want people, man. The second season is coming up, and I want
already
people to it because
the second season is about to come out.
Yeah, already. Yeah, man.
Dang, I missed the whole first season then.
Yeah, it's on Netflix, man. Please, I want everybody. I want people in our community to make that the #1 program in the history of Earth.
This is one of those we should support. I agree.
Yeah, I want Dion to get all his fly. I want Dion to get his forest.
Hey, Hey,
I want him to get his wilderness. I don't want him to get his flowers.
Yeah. All right. Well, what's coming up tomorrow on the end of the bench?
Tomorrow on the end of the bench, I'm still curating the very, very end of it, but it's called No Man's Land. It's continuing this theme that I have with some of my favorite, some of the best music I've ever heard in my life. So what I'm doing is using their album covers as thumbnails, and it's called No Man's Land, and that's from the Souls of Mischief. And it also ties into what we're dealing with, No Man's Land. You got, I'm going to talk about how we need to get past this whole thing about we need to look past these plants being set here by the man. I'm going to say it, by the man, because I'm tired of these guys. We don't hear from Ben from BS3 in regards to politics until March 2028. Mm-hmm. And then it's running down. These people ain't done this. Okay, they never have the alternative. And I'm primarily going to talk about why is it a party? These are the three major things to talk about. Why are one party trying to do away with the Department of Justice? Why are they trying to do away with DOE, Department of Education? And how, even though I am also suspicious of our good sister, Vice President Harris, not of her, of the, I'm going to talk about how let's not fall in love with this party, because at one point, her and Joe were on the outs. And Joe, shout out to President Joe Biden, because he forced the Democratic Party to get behind her. Now we can no longer sit around and talk about what they don't do for us. It's time for us to do for us.
Here's what I've said, and I said this in 2020, and when I saw what was happening, I was like, I literally said, I'm pretty sure Joe Biden is going to set this up for Mrs. Harris, Vice President, Madam Vice President Harris, to step into this role. Even though they probably going to play the, I'm going to run again. I wouldn't be surprised if, I know some of it, like he said, he doesn't talk the way he used to talk anymore, and he's a little dismal. But the thing was, I was like, he's going to vault this. He's going to vault this over to Kamala Harris. I was like, this is the plan all along to get her in the position. Now, granted, you can say what you want. You can piss, moan, groan. But here's the one thing that I'm starting to notice, this energy that's there now, because I think people have learned their lesson, even though Hillary wasn't the best. But I think they're starting to notice, you know what? We made a mistake with Hillary in some regards. Mm-hmm. We need to take this, a female president, possibly. We need this and take it seriously. That's the way I feel.
Right.
You're right. I'm not trying to push it on anybody, but I feel like the energy that's behind this now, it's like, okay, we may have mishandled the Hillary thing.
Yeah, and we do have a chance to make history with this upcoming election.
Yeah,
and I mean, they say it every 4 years. This is the most important election, but it is every 4 years. It is
right,
because you don't know what that person in office is going to do. What they're,
and whatever your political stance is, whether it be Republican or Democrat, as they say, just vote your best mind, whatever your best conscience, But that's just me. I'm not here to push my views on anybody. These are all my opinions and what I've seen. And after taking government's honors class, which I dreaded, but it's like it just pulls me back in, and I cannot stop watching. And I hate that I've been exposed to it, but I can't.
Yeah. I heard everything you said. I totally agree. And what we can't do is we can't afford to sit around and watch her be Madam President.
Right.
We must come up.
You've got to. You cannot be wide-eyed with the allure that a woman is now a president.
Exactly.
You still got to hold her feet to the fire.
Exactly.
She's still responsible, and she got to make sure she's uniting the party along with the country.
I think this is our opportunity to create a Kool-Aid party like they made the Tea Party. How your boy Raphael. That's how your boy Raphael is your son.
Right. Fighting over the flavors though. Well, it gotta be cherry, right?
Yeah, cherry. Red, man. Ain't no flavor, just red.
Red. The cherry out the red. Yeah.
We just gotta vote for the best candidate and pray after the fact.
I have an agenda for her because I'm telling you, dog, look, because you can tell her party is not put like this. This and this alone lets you know that her party did not want her in this slot.
No, they didn't. They weren't even accepting it when Joe stepped down.
Yeah.
They weren't even. They would say, "Well, who do we look for now? Who do we search for now?"
And Joe said, "Her."
Right.
Yeah.
And
also that's lack of preparation, really, on both sides. You don't. Are you preparing someone else? Are you helping to guide, groom somebody else, or are you just waiting to the end and you're like, well, we just settled for this?
I truly felt like in 2020 this was going to happen. Because remember, for a while, she disappeared more than any other vice president did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they were like,
unless you were looking for her, you didn't see her.
I honestly just believe that to my core. I mean, like I said, somebody can debate it. You know, I'm not here to push my beliefs on anybody, but it just looked like a easy setup to, hey, I'm gonna vault this thing to you, and this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna secretly get you familiar with world powers. Mm-hmm. We're gonna secretly send you on these international trips and sit down with some of these people with the possibility that Joe Biden is not gonna run again. That's just me. I could be wrong.
I wish you will.
Phone call. I mean, you know, I don't know,
because they were definitely grooming Gavin Newsom, and what's my man? You think his name? He had the same name as the dude on Law and Order. I can't think of it. Schiff.
Oh,
yeah. Those were the next two, much like Clinton and somebody else, and Obama jumped them.
Yeah, I remember that. They're like, no, and isn't Kamala Harris? Isn't she a kind of a branch of the Obama administration? Didn't he put her name up for attorney general in California?
Due to my Chicago roots, I ain't a real big fan of Barry.
Barry.
I mean, I don't not like him, but I don't.
It's touch and go. I know.
Yeah.
I got it. That's how I feel about my mom.
Barry is kind of like, to use a Chris Rock joke, Barry is like that uncle that molested you but paid your way through college.
Of course. Now go put some money on your books.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that makes all the sense because she has not been visible since being elected.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she disappeared for a long while.
And the DNC is tonight. I don't know if it's going on right now.
Yeah, it just kicked off, I think. Today.
Yeah, right down the street from my house.
Oh, really?
Boy, if you're a woman could walk through this neighborhood right now in her bra and panties, and no one will say a word to her.
Oh, sure.
This is the safest neighborhood on the planet right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
until tomorrow.
You think they want to be on news after what supposedly happened with Trump?
Is it for the whole week?
Blackhawks over the crib yesterday.
I don't doubt it. Hell, probably some damn paratroopers on the roof right now.
Oh yeah.
They're like, man, how you know? What's up, friend?
Yeah. How you doing?
That's red Kool-Aid for. But hey man.
Yeah.
Homeboy. No. But I'm gonna talk about those things, and then I'm gonna talk about people like Fat Lock and Coon A. And Horns.
I love that.
Because it's just, I'm tired of it. Like Coon A came out the other day and said, why she ain't done no press conferences? Maybe because she hasn't officially become the nominee, J.A. But this is also a dude that said
he has done press conferences.
They ask the most asinine questions sometimes.
But he just
it's all clickbait.
Yeah, what he's doing is he's pandering to his audience, the people that keep watching ESPN. He's pandering to those white boys that watch that because they see him on Hannity, and then he parrots Hannity, and then I'm gonna vote for her. okay, black people, y'all heard me say I'm gonna vote for. So when I'm defending this foolishness, I'm gonna say I'm gonna always be able to fall back on. But I'm gonna vote for.
Right. Some goofiness.
Yeah, it's his whole thing is it's no longer sports takes. It's all just clickbait. That's it.
It's clickbait. Yeah,
it's no longer I have a sports opinion. It's just what's the dumbest.
How can I go viral?
Thing I can say exactly. You're getting paid to go viral. That's it.
Hey, but
I hate that Steve Harvey introduced that dude to my life because I'm like, who the hell is this?
yeah. Yet another reason not to like Steve Harvey. But
right.
Wait, what is that mean? Is that a real image of him? He's like holding a glass, like a liquor glass, and he's like it's like in the dark and he's sweating.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know if you've ever seen that meme or that picture.
Oh, I hadn't seen that.
I'll send it to y'all.
Send it. Yeah, I hadn't seen that one.
It's everywhere.
You know what? He may have just saved sports.
What's that?
He's doing college football.
McAfee may have saved sports talk because Pat doesn't go for stupid takes. He's sitting in a room full of men and they're talking about what happened in the game.
Right.
Yeah, and he calls out ESPN on ESPN.
On ESPN. That's what I'm saying.
There's nobody else doing that.
You have
not even the rights for him to broadcast on YouTube.
Nah, because not even Colin Cowherd was
and TikTok while he's on ESPN, and he like, I don't care. Hey, kick me off. I dare you.
Right.
If you kick me off, y'all better hold big mouth Muppet looking dude gonna take over because it's not going.
Yeah, because not even Colin Cowherd would step out on ESPN like that.
Nope.
And then of course, Fox, hey, here's some money, so whatever. But yeah.
So Pat McAfee has encouraged. He got your boy thinking about coming out of retirement, man.
Hey, so I just sent it to the group. I just found out these are AI.
Oh, okay.
It looked like Steve Harvey. But
your boy Snowman probably hate me though. Because he be
I hadn't seen these.
Oh no, that's AI. They got it. AI.
Yeah, Steve ain't going with that, baby. No, that's AI.
I like maybe that's an old picture.
No, that ain't Steve, man. That ain't Steve. I would love for it to be him. Reject from the Muppet Baby looking at. But yeah, hey man, Snowman, I be terrorizing him on TikTok.
Hey, he needs somebody, man. He be coming out with some takes, man. It would just be like
because he attacked Chicago and his take was half cocked. He was like, the Bears are gonna be horrible because they invested in DJ Moore. And the Bears don't have anybody else to throw to. I was like, what about Cole Kmet? What about Keenan Allen, 6-time Pro Bowler, 1,200 yards,
that they just got
108 catches last year.
Yeah. But the only thing with Keenan Allen is, can he stay healthy? That's his only thing.
Right.
But I mean, just put him on a pitch count.
They got my man Rome on the dude yet.
Yep.
And I'm like, bro, did you not watch the draft? Have you not been paying attention? And then he switched it up. Well, who's the offensive coordinator? It don't make a difference. That wasn't your point. You said they had no options. I gave you 3 outside of Moore.
Right.
Like like the time we were on the show, he was like, LeBron James is on PEDs. I say, that don't work the same with baseball, right? What do you mean? I say, if you just take PEDs, you get fat if you don't work out.
It's not the same with baseball.
Right. Like, you ain't gonna get no great jump shot because you.
Right, exactly. Right. Hey, you're not even gonna be able to hit better just because you're on PEDs.
That's not how that works.
That's the part where Barry Bonds like, man, let this dude in. Right. It doesn't make you you don't have better hand-eye coordination because you're doing PEDs. You better
catch either with Clemens.
Not how that works.
Because you got bums that was taking PEDs. It ain't no good. So it don't make you Superman.
Hey, remember Brady Anderson? He took PEDs. He hit 50 home runs one year, and he hit 50 home runs for the next 8 years.
Yeah, he was done. Yeah. Yeah, that's a prime example right there. That should be A1 when we bring up that conversation.
That's not how that works, man. People, but
Yeah,
hey, just keep you commentate while these boys out here making contracts. All right.
Right. Hey, Simone said it best. How you gonna criticize me and you can't even do a cartwheel?
My bad. Hit the intro.